Well, boa noite. Bunsen here with the Expats Portugal show. And of course, it is Migration Tuesday, whereupon we wait for Gilda Pereira of EI to answer all your fantastic questions coming in from all over the world on this, a holiday day, it has to be said, here in Portugal, All Saints Day here in Portugal. Hope you've had a good one, if you've been celebrating that in any way. Jeff, it was first in this evening with a boa noite. Where is everyone? We're here, Jeff. We're here. And a welcome as well. So thank you for, you're our warm-up man tonight, I think, Jeff. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate that. Adventure filmmaker, boa noite from California. Boa tarde here. Very good. Excellent stuff. And JJBR is in as well. So thank you very much to all of you so far. Oh, and our friend Mo and Mehmet. Thank you all for being here. Let's bring that wonderful lady on, shall we? Who I think has been taking it easy today. And this shows you what a legend Gilda is to be here on a holiday day in Portugal. Hey, which one of these is the round of applause? I think it's this one. There she is. Gilda Pereira of EI. Happy All Saints Day to you, Gilda.
Hello, good evening.
And how's your day been? How do Portuguese people, let's start there, shall we, this evening? How do Portuguese people generally celebrate All Saints Day? How have you been celebrating today, if I may ask?
I've been taking a nap all day long.
Oh, so you've been taking advantage of a quiet day to rest and recuperate a little bit.
Yes.
Well, bless you for being here this evening. Yes, because you have had a busy week. We spoke to you twice last week, didn't we? We spoke to you, of course, on Migration Tuesday. And on Thursday evening, live from Porto, where you were discussing, where we really had a deep dive into the new digital nomad visa.
Mm-hmm.
And you sent me a few photographs of your work day in Porto, right, Gilda?
Did I?
May we share those on the screen?
Yeah, it was a lot of work. I don't know which
Very
ones
busy.
are you going to share.
Very busy time. So a work meeting there.
Yes, this is a work meeting with my team in Porto.
Okay, and some familiar faces there, perhaps, for some of the people watching this evening.
Yes.
And one or two glasses of wine shared.
Oh, yeah. This is part of the work too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and things quite the evening, quite the celebration, I think.
No, that one is part of the work because you need to explain the clients about the red wine, the Porto wine. So you have to taste it before you explain it.
And bonding with the colleagues, of course. And look at this beautiful view here. Is that later on that same evening, Gilda, by any chance?
Yeah, but how did you get this? You're not supposed to get this one.
I have my sources. Now, I'm seeing what looks like quite an expensive bottle of booze there under the iconic Porto Bridge across the water there, across the Douro. Was this a prize of some sort?
Yeah, this was like the one that we got from the wine tasting cellar.
Oh, excellent. Team building as well that week.
Yeah, a lot.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing those from my secret source. And that is the Portuguese way, of course, isn't it? To work hard and play hard, because we know you've been doing that. And tonight is evidence, of course, of you working hard and playing hard. This is a holiday in Portugal, and Gilda is here to answer your questions. Any questions at all about migration, visas, and how to move to Portugal, Gilda is here for you until 10 o'clock. So get those questions in. Let's go back, shall we, to the comments and see what's going on here, Gilda, and see if our first questions have come in. Sorry, go on.
First of all, I would like to say something because of the webinar last Thursday.
Yep.
Many people were insisting that we could apply from Portugal.
Yes.
And I said that we couldn't because it was a visa. But I went to look further on the law, and it says under the manifestação de interesse, which I said that it was one of the exceptions that you could apply in Portugal, being here. It's the one that takes a very long time. They said that under that same article, you could apply for the digital nomad visa if you are already in Portugal.
Wow. That is big news then, isn't it?
Yes, it is big news. Although we asked CEF and they don't know how is it going to work in practice. So this means that they don't know if they are going to, because this manifestação de interesse, you submit the documents on the portal and they stay there for a long time until someone analyzes them and they open them for vacancy to an appointment to CEF.
Right.
So we asked them, how is it going to work? And they said, we don't know. So we don't know if they are going to make like a new portal for this digital nomad application, or if you have to use the same portal for the manifestação de interesse, to submit as a manifestação de interesse and then wait. If that is going to be the case and nothing changes with the CEF rules, it's going to take ages. At this point that we are talking, there are lots of doubts, and we don't know how it's going to work to apply from here. Neither us and neither the authorities at this point that we are talking about. So when we have further news, I will let you know.
Well, it's very good of you to share that, and I think people were quite insistent, and there was definitely an air of confusion, wasn't there? And as you understood it up to that point, of course, a visa is meant to be applied for outside the country. You have spotted, you've gone back to the law and asked CEF, and there perhaps is a loophole, technically, legally, but whether or not that will work, whether or not it's practically possible, and how long it might take are all guesswork again. So whilst it could be possible to apply from here, it sounds like that's not going to be the most advantageous or fast route.
Yes, unless they change anything, or unless they create a system that it's going to work for this new visa.
Okay, and could you explain to us the manifestação interesse? What is that? I don't think I pronounced that correctly, but could you decode that for us, that particular bit? Is that another part of other visa processes? It's not. That's a standard piece of process, isn't it? That's being co-opted into this particular visa.
No, this is like an ancient way of people getting legalized by the law.
Okay.
Where it's a system that legalizes people where once they are already in Portugal, but they didn't enter with any visa.
Yeah.
That allows them to get a resident permit. But if they find a job, they can submit this process to be approved by CEF.
Okay.
But what happens? It's because there are so many people that come to Portugal, special Brazilians, because they don't need a visa to come in.
Right.
There are many Brazilians that come in, find a job, and because of that, they stay. They submit this process, and because there are thousands and thousands of processes, they are taking between 8 months to 24 months to be approved from the day that they begin until they are approved at CEF.
My goodness. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be joining that queue, isn't it? Which isn't going to be the greatest position to be in. Could you just give us the name of it one more time so people know, Gilda, and to help with my terrible pronunciation?
It's called Manifestação de Interesse. In English, it's a Manifest of Interest.
I thought so. Okay, excellent. Excellent point here too, Second Life. We are 40 in the chat and only 3 likes. Come on. Let's see if we can. Second Life, thank you for this. Smash the like button. Thank you very much for your support there. Darren Live, Keith Doty, Karen, Chantal Eunice, Alex Scott, Issa, Tariq, Nicole, Billy and Dottie, JJBR, and we have Mehmet and Mariam here tonight. We will get to all of your questions, so let's get going on that. We also want to include, we've got Connie and Hank as well. Hank, I think both Connie and Hank, delighted to see your Porto pics there. Nice to see you, Gilda, and Ola Toros, and Bon Vete from from Hank as well. Thank you both for being here. They are happily and safely in Portugal. They needn't be here on Migration Tuesday, but they choose to be, as other people do as well, like Jeff. So thank you everybody for being here. Really appreciate it. And of course, you might want to chip in with your own personal experience of working with Gilda and loving life here in Portugal. So, adventure filmmaker, are you one of those people who's just happy to be here, or do you have a question? JJBR, who is here for the first time, well, enjoying the good weather. This time of the year, most of the country is still sunny. Where are you? Oh, from Mexico. Weather's pretty good here, I've got to say, for the first day of November. It's been amazing. I've been traveling across the country. It's been wonderful. And hello, Carl from JJBR. Oh, Jesus, then, JJBR. One of those J's stands for Jesus, it would appear. Marty, any news from you, my friend? Is that the Marty? He's changed his picture, isn't he? Is that the Marty from Alaska? Hello, everyone. Hi, Marty. Any news from you? We're still crossing everything here for you, but you might have an update for us. Mehmet saying it's 12 p.m. here in Istanbul. Great to see you, Mehmet. And Mariam as well is here with the first question. Hi, I got my D7 SEF appointment in May. I have a registered lease agreement for an apartment that I didn't personally visit yet. If I go to Portugal and I don't like the apartment, can I stay in an Airbnb until my SEF appointment, meanwhile maintaining my current leased apartment at the same time? Or SEF could ask for a utility bill as proof that I'm really living in the leased apartment. That's a great question. You can live where you want, can't you, as long as you've got a lease agreement?
Yes, you can. You can. So no problem. If you don't like the apartment, you can stay in an Airbnb as long as you keep your lease agreement.
Yes, because I think what SEF want to know is that you've got a place to go. They don't want to know that you're living in it all the time, but that legally, technically, you have a place to go to. So that's fairly easily dealt with there, Mariam. Thank you for asking that question. Thank you for being here this evening. JJB, hello, Carl and Gilda. I will be applying in Mexico City for a D7 visa in the next couple of months. Oh, excellent. Can I bring my family as tourists to Lisbon and apply for the reunification family in Portugal?
Yes, you can, but according to the new law, it's going to be easier than that. Once your visa is going to be approved, you have 10 days. You can apply to the to the family reunification visa for your family, and they say that it's going to be approved in 10 working days.
They say so.
The law says.
Oh, the law says that. Okay, right. Okay.
And I saw, I checked this week that some consulates already updated the pages for that.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Gilda, for answering that question. So there you go. JJP are listening for the first time.
So you have both options.
Both options available to you. Tariq, Hassan, okay, today I can join earlier. Okay, so I think it's because the clocks went back over the weekend and we've had you had an extra hour's nap then, Gilda, and a bit of a rest to add to your holiday day rest today. It's Tuesday already. Today has felt like a Sunday in Portugal, I have to say.
It did.
It really did, didn't it? It was so quiet and peaceful around the country as I was driving over 200 kilometers across the countryside. It just felt like a Sunday. It really did. Keith Doty is here. I hope I pronounced that correctly, Keith. Hello from Keith and Caroline, currently visiting the UK. How is it over there at the moment? And don't forget, Keith and Caroline, the Prime Minister's job often comes available in these recent weeks. So stick around in the UK. You might have a new job opportunity over there. JJB, I would also like to know if they can apply for the reunification process for a mother-in-law. If that is not possible, what other options do I have? So that's very interesting. With family reunification, let's broaden that question perhaps, Gilda, and find out who can be brought in under family reunification.
Yes, you can apply for the family reunification of your mother-in-law if she's over 65 years old, and if you can show that she's financial depending on you, or if she has any kind of disease or any kind of dependence.
Okay, and broader than that, I mean, who applies? Is it the same criteria that it's somebody who's a dependent under a certain age, over a certain age?
Yeah, it's independent. The thing that sometimes it brings more trouble to the parents is that you can only make the family reunification until the kids are 18 or until they are 25, but you need to prove that they are studying.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And in full-time education, or what are the criteria for studying? Would that be a
They need,
university course or a college course?
yes, yes.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Thank you. If you need further clarification, JJBR, you know where we are, at least until 10 o'clock this evening for the next 3/4 of an hour. Hello from Hawaii, from Billy and Dottie's Crazy Adventures. That sounds like a great YouTube channel. And Nicole is saying as well, bon dia to us. Nicole Braddock, that is. Good evening to you, Nicole. And the paparazzi have been detected. That was that earlier picture. Gilda didn't know how that picture got to me. Yes, I have my sources. Well spotted, Tariq, on that. And Issa as well. Bon dia from Dubai, 1 a.m. here. Thank you so much for staying up. Really appreciate that, Issa, but it's definitely worth staying awake. Nice one, Issa. Do you have a specific question? Darren Live, can you briefly state the digital nomad visa requirements? Well, we touched upon it, didn't we? Maybe it's possible to apply from within Portugal. Maybe that's going to take forever as well. But could we just run through that again, please, for anyone interested in the digital nomad visa?
Okay, so you need to have a contract or you need to have an employee. You need to be an employee or a contractor, and your wage needs to meet at least the 4 Portuguese minimum wages, which is 280 120 euros, to
Okay.
2,820 euros.
Yep.
And it needs to be the average of the last 3 months. You need to prove it on pay slips or invoices. You need to prove on contracts or employment contract. And the contracts, if you are a freelancer, or the employment contract, needs to state that you are able to work remotely 100%.
Yeah. Okay, and just to clarify, the Portuguese minimum wage, 705 euros a month currently. So 4 times that will be 2,820, and that will be rising in the new year. So it'll be a little bit, not a lot more, but a little bit more come 2023. So there you go, Darren. Any further clarification you need, just let us know in the comments here. Alex Scott is in. Benoit, are there any ways to increase chances for Portuguese passport applications? Okay, so let's clarify for you, Alex. You're moving on from being a resident into being a citizen here, like participating in local community life, charity, or something similar. Good thinking, Alex. What's your experience of this then, Gilda, when people convert after their first 5 years from residents into citizens? Is there a test of that shows that you're engaged in local and national life?
Well, not if they are living in Portugal.
Okay. How would they not be living in Portugal? This is if they've spent a lot of time out of the country in those 5 years.
No, if they have ancestrals, Portuguese ancestrals,
Okay.
sometimes they ask for ties with Portuguese community.
Got it. Okay. All right. But not in the way that Alex is asking for. I suspect meeting the criteria for those first 5 years, Alex, will be enough when you go for citizenship.
Yeah. And the Portuguese test.
And the A2, of course, right? The A2 test for language. Thank you very much. That was simple. Alex, anything else for you? You know where to ask. Chantal, I am a remote worker and I applied for the D7 visa. The consulate CEF didn't review my visa yet. Based on which law would they review it? The old one, or they could refuse it because I applied for a D7 as a DN? Forgive me, Gilda, I don't know what a DN is.
Digital nomad.
Oh, digital nomad, of course. So, what have you changed your application, Chantal? Here, can you may be able to answer this question, Gilda? I'm a little bit confused.
Okay, it will depend, Chantal. It will depend of the person who is analyzing it, and also on the date. She may consider the date when the process got in, and if the law was already in force or not. Also, she may consider if you have savings or not. And if you are a remote worker and you have passive income besides the remote worker and savings or not, because there are people that apply for the D7 and are remote workers and meet both criteria. So
Right.
then the D7 will be okay. If you are only a remote worker and apply for the D7, I have some clients that even though the law was not enforced yet, they got a denial saying that the visa was applied based on active income only.
Oh, and what happened? You appealed and put it right.
Yes, now we are appealing them based on the digital nomad.
Okay, there you go, Chantal. Hope that helps. Let us know, of course, if you need further clarification. Yolanda is here, who you remembered last week, Gilda. Hi to both from Phoenix, Arizona. Great to have you here tonight, Yolanda. How are you? Tudo bem? And with Karen here, with things changing. Thank you for that little question mark emoji. That really helps. With things changing so much on the D7 and adding the digital nomad visa, do you think they will have a visa just for retirees with less financial and accommodation requirements? Thank you. Do you think there's room for another classification, a different kind of visa in this mix, Gilda?
No, not for the near future.
No. Okay. So it will, for this kind of person, the retirees, it will remain the D7 as far as you
Yes.
can foresee. Okay. Excellent. Keith did have a question. We own a US publishing book marketing company, an S corporation, and are wondering about the digital nomad visa. Currently planning to keep the US corporation but work from Portugal. Is digital nomad best? So what if you work for yourself? Does that work, improving your income as a dividend or a drawing from your company, Gilda? Could that work?
I would have to analyze it better, because sometimes with companies can be a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
But it can be a digital nomad, or it can be a D2
Mhm.
if they want to open a company in Portugal, or it can be a D7 if the how do you say?
Well, it sounds to
I'm a
me that
little bit slow today.
it's it's a
How do you
holiday.
say the lucros? How do you say the lucros?
Oh,
If
the
the
money, the earnings, the income.
yeah,
Yeah.
if the income at the end of the year,
Oh,
how
the
do you say?
dividends. Yes.
If the dividends are higher, you should apply for the D7.
But it sounds as though Keith and Caroline are in a great position anyway, right? Because they can apply for one of
Yes,
three different. But given the situation you're in, Keith, it's looking pretty good, I would say, from
it's
what I just said there.
it's only a matter of thinking which one would be the best for you.
Okay, and we got a free bit of Portuguese tuition there. Lucros is dividends. So that's really helpful. Thank you. And no need to apologize, Gilda. You're working on a public holiday here. You don't seem in any way slow to me this evening. You're your usual font of wisdom this evening, with all things to do with moving to Portugal, visas and regulations and so on, which we do every Tuesday evening between 9 and 10. And I think the time change here has made it a little bit easier for some people, but it won't last. Because there's certainly in North America, I think we've got a week's window where it's a little bit easier, or certainly different, and then we'll be at that same difference in hours again. Darren Live, digital nomad. We have to get accommodation first inside Portugal, then go back home to apply at our local consulate. Well, notwithstanding what Gilda explained earlier on, but that would still be the best way, right? To get your accommodation first and then go back and apply outside the country.
Yes, that would be. I would say that would be the best way, because that for sure we know that they will accept.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Darren, for your question.
But
Oh,
you can do that remotely.
yeah. I
We
mean,
can
you can.
help you that remotely.
Casa Portuguesa, of course, can help you find accommodation. You don't have to come here and find your own accommodation. It would be an option, but Gilda's company, Casa Portuguesa, can help, of course. And I should say, if you're going to be working with EI, giving you and your family a better future in Portugal. Premium members of Expats Portugal will get a 10% discount off the professional services at EI, the ones we're talking about this very evening. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. Oh, and your weather reports as well. It's cold and wet in the UK. Well, we're sorry to hear that. Not only is it cold and wet in the UK, look, we get some random reports tonight. The Hank is awake as well. Just woke up, in fact, and wanted to say hi to Gilda. What about...
Hello.
Oh, okay. And Carl. Very good. All right. Excellent. Mo Ward, good evening to you. Mo, certainly in Portuguese time, that is. I only need my rental contract to file the D7. I got a verbal agreement for an apartment on October the 18th, but I still haven't received the contract to sign. Any idea why? I'm working with Carla.
I don't know why.
Okay, so
but it's difficult. It's difficult to know if I don't know your real name.
Right.
But
well, I'll tell you what. Yes, if you I don't know, you could email in. We need the specifics on this.
Yes, so I can take care tomorrow. So I can address this to Carlo tomorrow.
Yes, without giving out your personal details in this chat scenario so that we can locate who you are. Perhaps the best thing to do is to send me a WhatsApp message if you're happy to do that. Or Gilda, the best email address for you. Would that be your geral?
Or mine, personal.
Okay, so could you give us that or pop it in the private chat and I'll make sure that that's available. If you want to get in touch via me, Mo, very happy to handle that for you. That will be 00351, the country code, of course, for Portugal.
But I'm sure, I think I know what I think I know what case this is about.
You do? Okay, you've located that. Okay, so for scratch what I just said, and Mo...
But anyhow, just to confirm, because...
Okay, please confirm, Mo. I think an additional email is going to be useful there, and we can find out what's gone on for you in that particular situation. Mehmet, good evening to you. Oh, sorry, Mehmet, hold it right there, because I just missed Tom Smith, Butard from Ohio. Does the Washington, D.C. consulate require an in-person visit, Gilda?
No, you can email.
Okay.
You can mail the visa.
That's good to know, isn't it? So there you go, Tom Smith. That answer for you, swiftly dealt with, as Gilda's email address goes into the chat there as well. Please use that, Mo Ward, so that we can make sure we know exactly what's going on with your particular situation there. Great. Okay, I'm going to go back and find your question, Mehmet, and loads more questions have come in. This usually happens. We get an exponential burst of questions coming in as we go into the second half of the show. So Mo, that's dealt with, and cold and wet in the UK, that's dealt with. Mehmet, thank you for your patience. How can we schedule a Zoom call to discuss details? I'm on the line to be your client to start my digital nomad visa process by the end of this month. Time is ticking for me. So how to move that on? Or would you say Mehmet is in the queue and can just stand by and you will be in touch in due course?
Do you already have a date to have the consultation?
Okay, let us know, Mehmet, with that. We'll come back to you. Butad from Alaska, no update with Marty. No word on our visa applications. Now the snow has arrived here in Alaska. Oh, Marty, we're just hanging on in there with you. We're on the edge of our seat. What can you say, Gilda?
Well, I won't say anything else because I had, I have all my hopes were until the end of October.
Yes. Okay. All right. And it's been a public holiday here today. So to the drawing board tomorrow morning. Let's see what can be done about that for you, Marty, tomorrow. Sorry to hear about the snow over there, and sorry that you've had no news from the Portuguese government with that. Hola, all you saints. Today is your day. Yes, for all saints tuned in this evening. Happy All Saints Day. And hey, everyone, I can say that after I texted Gilda about the Lisbon get-together, she graciously accepted. You're welcome, everyone. Yes, that caused a bit of a furore, didn't it? Why no invitation? That's been put right now, right?
No, let me explain.
Yes.
I got Jeff's mail to invite me.
Yes.
I just didn't see it before our conversation, but then I saw his email and I said, "Jeff, I got it. Yes, I will go." And then
Okay.
I got Hank's message, and I said, "Yes, I will be there."
Okay. I think that's okay then. I'm not entirely sure. Okay. Just make sure you invite Gilda sooner next time, perhaps. Okay. Good vibes from Keith and Caroline and Issa. I watched the Digital Nomad webinar and I have a different point of view regarding the embassies having an influx of the new Digital Nomad visa applications. I feel that the embassies will have fewer D7 applicants because they will filter out the digital nomads, and the digital nomad financial requirement is 4 times the D7. So a digital nomad with a family of 4 needs 6K a month, while before they needed 1.5K only. I feel this will leave out many digital nomad applicants. Would you say that is a correct assessment? Before you do, Gilda, that this is what Issa's saying. I feel this will leave out many digital nomad applicants who used to apply for the D7 visa on 1.5K a month, and they would be ineligible for any visa, which could decrease the influx digital nomad slash D7 applicants. Digital nomads with 4 times the minimum wage used to apply before the D7 anyways. So I'm guessing you can basically pick the gist of that out of that 3-part question there. What's your view on that, Gilda?
I agree with Isa.
Okay, with that analysis.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And that presumably is the talk inside the visa world and migration into Portugal. What you think the attention is going to be on the digital nomad visa now, as far as
Yes.
the government's concerned. Okay, so good
They are
analysis.
going to try to push as many as they can to the digital nomad.
Right. Okay. Well, that's interesting news then. And so some people will miss out, you think, with these changing requirements.
Yes, because many people that could apply before with less,
Yes.
because the income was 1 Portuguese minimum wage,
Yeah.
and then savings, of
Yeah.
course. But if they had like passive income such as a house rental for 800 euros, that would be enough
Yeah.
to have a D7 approved,
Okay.
together with some savings. And now for the digital nomad, it's not enough.
Wow. Okay. So quite the change then for people coming into Portugal and within the whole visa scene of Portugal. Good analysis, Issa. And it looks like you may well be right because Jura says so. Leslie Smith, very wet in Britain and has been for nearly a week now. Similarly here in Portugal, but we do have these incredible changes in the weather. I was in Castelo Branco for the last couple of nights, Gilda. Amazing to be over there. What a city that is. And it was pouring down over there like it sounds like it has been in Britain. And the next thing you know, there's beautiful sunshine. And you would never have known that just a few minutes ago it was pouring down. So some real extremes of weather here in Portugal. Can't say that so much in the UK. I imagine it stays pretty damp and soggy over there. But lovely to be over in Castelo Branco this weekend. So no reunification then, says Karen, for children over 35 years with no disabilities. Not going to be possible, is it?
No.
Okay, there you go. They're proper grown-ups, aren't they? Even though they're still your children. I heard Dubai, says Pacifier 007. Hello to you. I heard Dubai Consulate isn't great for D7s. Is it because of the approval rate? Any idea of how many months Dubai is taking for D7 approval? So a couple of questions there.
Well, actually, it's quite weird because when we start making D7 visas in Dubai, everything was very smooth. But the past year, the past year they started to deny everything, and the VFS started to ask everything with an apostille, even the bank statements, everything with stamps, with apostille, which made everything very difficult.
Yeah.
Yes, so the the successful rate has been decreased, and it's been taking longer.
Okay. All right. So there you go. Sorry, it's not better news with Dubai. the information you have sounds about right, Pacifier 007. Mo is happy with the response, and I think we'll make contact, so that's great. I'll be sure to email you. Thank you, says Mo. Jeff and Hank are still having it out in the chat there, trying to claim the credit, I think, for getting you invited to the meetup in Lisbon there. Billy and Dottie of the Crazy Adventures have a question. We're looking to move to Portugal in the next 2 years. We're not married, and one of us won't have an income for another 2 years. Can we use the one income to qualify? It is for retirement. So it'll be the D7.
Okay, so you will have to use one income to qualify, and the other one needs to do the family reunification upon the reunion. How do you say when you live together but you're not married?
Yes, in common law.
Yes, in the common law relationship.
Okay, so there you go, Billy and Dottie. Thank you very much, Gilda. Anything else you need to know, Billy and Dottie?
But this needs to be prepared in a lot of time in advance, okay? So that, because now they are being very tricky with the proofs of these in common law relationships.
Ah, okay. All right. And what might that mean, Gilda? What sort of paperwork and proof might be looked for or requested?
Bank accounts in common, rental agreements in common, things like that.
And that's fair enough in a way, isn't it? Because you could just be moving with somebody random, couldn't you? So you have to demonstrate some level of commitment to each other, which could, of course, be demonstrated by joint bank accounts or joint rental agreements or some other means. But yeah, to make it clear that you're not just trying to get a random stranger into the country on that basis.
Yes, and also you need to prove that you are single or divorced or widow.
Oh, and not married to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, of course. Yes, that also makes sense, doesn't it? And connects, I suppose, to the paper trail that you explained to us when it comes to the registry here in Portugal. The birth certificate is an ongoing document, isn't it? That changes according to marital status. Is that right? Did I remember that correctly?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why it seems a bit odd that people want to see birth certificates thinking, well, that doesn't change. Well, it does in Portugal. So there's the reason for it. Staying with family reunification, Gilda, Mehmet has a supplementary question. Can you please provide timescales as to when I can apply for it? In another video, you say after getting the residency permit. Another video says it can be applied for at the same time. So can we have some clarification there?
No, there are two different situations, okay? If you are applying for the visa, for the residency visa, and the residency visa is approved, and according to the new law, the visa is approved, and you can go back to the consulate and apply for the family reunification visa, okay? That's one thing. Another thing is you get your residency visa, you come to Portugal, and your family come on a Schengen visa, and after the residency permit, you can book for the family reunification.
Okay.
So there are two options, but what I think it will, well, every family would know what will work better. But in my opinion, if you all want to move together, the best thing is to try what the new law has to offer, which is you get the residency visa, or the residency visa is approved, you go back to the consulate and apply for the reunification, family reunification visas, so that you all can come together.
Thanks for the question, Mehmet, and it's great that you are persistent with your questioning. We appreciate it, and this is what we do every Tuesday evening on Migration Tuesday with Gilda at 20 minutes to 10. Let me just take a moment to share with you the get-together, the online social Saturdays. You've seen in the chat here, you've got Hank, and you've also got Jeff as well, and Connie was here earlier on. Sorry to cover your faces like that, you guys. Let me just take that out of the way. There you go. So every first Saturday of the month at 9 p.m. Lisbon time. I'm sorry if I've caused any confusion with that. I think I've made an earlier assumption that it was every Saturday. You've got social lives, other parts of your social life as well that you need to service, Hank and Connie, but certainly every first Saturday of the month, 9 p.m. Lisbon time. That's going to be coming up next Saturday, then, I think, hosted by Hank and Connie. Without wanting to cause trouble, did you get an invite to that one, Gilda?
No, I didn't.
Just gets worse, doesn't it? Okay, only kidding. I'm sure it can be assumed that you will be invited to that. So we're live. We're taking questions, and somebody very kindly has given us something else for the drinks fund here. We've got Billy and Dottie have sent $20. How about that, Gilda, for your, shall I call it the wine research and the team building? Let's call it that, shall we?
Thank you.
That's really kind. Thank you very much, Billy and Dottie.
Thank you.
Really sweet of you. Thank you very much for that. Okay, let's get back to the questions because there are lots of them, and we've only got 20 minutes to go.
We need to go for the ginginha, Carl.
We do. We certainly do. Nice little budget there, building up. Okay, I'm scrolling back. There's a lot of questions. This always happens. Okay, let's get through them as quickly as we can. Assad, I see yours. Julian's here as well. New names. Drizzy, that's where we got to. Issa, I think we dealt with your three-part question that I think you reposted there. Let us know if that was to your satisfaction. Drizzy, hi guys, thanks for being here. What is the fastest way for someone already living and working in Portugal to get a residence permit in a few months? Now, this connects, and this is a kind of a cheeky question in a way, because is there a fast way that would take just a few months to get a residence permit for the Manifestação Interessa, or whatever Gilda said earlier on? I mean, is this going to happen in a few months? Is there any way to make it happen in a few months, Gilda?
Well, I don't know if they are going to speed up this process, but also I don't know all the context of your work situation.
Okay.
Because there is a way for tech workers to get the residence permit faster, but you need to have a contract with a Portuguese company. So I don't know if that is the case.
All right. Okay, Drizzy. Yeah, need to know a bit more about your specifics there. So they're all over it here. Connie is very quick to respond to this. Gilda, you're always personally invited to the Saturday Social. Always! Would love to have you pop in and say hi. That's lovely. Thank you. Sorry for stirring that. Talking... having a bit of fun this evening on All Saints holiday. Talking to Gilda about invites is like, okay, you had to bring that up, Jeff. Okay, I deserved that, didn't I? For stirring this evening. Okay, yes, if you haven't seen that, so check it out on Expats YouTube channel. Gilda schooling me on how to cook sardines correctly. Okay, back to the questions then. Issa, Karen, Pacifier 007. We got through those and we got to Drizzy's. That's as far as we got. So continues Darren live, who wants to talk about digital nomad visa. So if they start to employ me this month, I can't use the digital nomad visa. Why would that be? I'm not sure why Darren's asking that. Do you understand that, Gilda?
Yes, I do, because they will ask for most likely they will ask for the past 3 months statements.
Oh, okay, but it doesn't need to be all from the same employer. It's all of
No, they don't. They don't need to be from the same employment.
Yeah, which is going to be unlikely for some digital nomads. You're going to have multiple clients. You're going to be chopping and changing contracts. So I hope that helps, Darren. Assad, if I get a registered contract for an apartment by just paying the deposit, but the rent payments actually start on the arrival date 3 to 4 months later, is that acceptable for a D7 application?
That is a very good question. And I must say that I've tried to do this before. Most of the times it works.
Okay. This is to say you don't have to waste money on an empty apartment.
Yes. Not all the landlords accept.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you get the contract registered, if they accept to get the contract registered, and it says that it has a clause there saying that it will only start in 3 months, I think it will be accepted.
Yeah,
it should be accepted.
Okay, it is a great question, that, isn't it?
But it is very important that the contract goes with the paper of the tax office registration.
There you go. Something worth bearing in mind there. But a great question, Assad. And yes, nobody wants to be laying out money, do they? Shelling out on an empty apartment that they're not getting a benefit of. So great question. Thank you, Julian. Digital nomad covers e-commerce. Does it cover an e-commerce business income like an online store? Would that work?
Yes, it does work. You
Okay.
just need to prove somehow how that relationship works.
Okay, so the idea of the digital nomad then is somebody working in the digital industries, very, very broadly speaking, right?
No, it can be any remote work, any
Okay.
job that you can do remotely.
Okay, so there's your classification. Thank you. So to clarify for Jesus here, my mother-in-law is 90 years old and lives with me. What proof should I submit to Seth for that?
With 19 years, that would be enough.
Okay, there you go. Enough in its own right, her age. Angel Tobbits, good evening to you. I'm going to be in Lisbon on November the 16th to have a feel of the country, thinking about inviting myself to the November 17th meetup. Can I come? Where will it be and what time? There you go. Hank, Jeff, if
it's on the 15th, isn't it?
Okay, all right. Which meetup are you talking about? We have quite the network of meetups now, Angel. Let us know which
Do
one.
we? I only know one.
Which one's that? Am I in trouble now? Gilda, do retired people. I'm going to move on. Leslie says, Gilda, do retired people. I'm so embarrassed. As you can see, the redness of my face nearly matches the Portuguese flag behind me. Gilda, do retired people need to do the A2 test if they apply for citizenship after 5 years, as they may struggle to learn a sufficient amount of Portuguese language, says Leslie. That's a great question, but no, you can't get out of it because you're retired, can you? You've got all that time on your hands to learn Portuguese. It's another way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Leslie, fair enough. You might find it a little bit daunting, but many retired people and people of, what should we say, advancing age have successfully passed the A2 test. And there is a government course that will help you that is largely based on attendance, I have discovered recently. So don't worry about it too much. Help is at hand. And of course, Mia, look for Mia Eshmirish in the Expats Portugal Business Directory as well. There's lots of help available. Don't be too worried about that. I'm sure we can get you over that line, Leslie. But nice try. Keith says maybe we need to open a Portuguese branch. Well, sure. If you do the D2, they may well incorporate this side of the water as well. Is that right, Gilda?
Yes, but there is not the only option. So maybe if you want to talk with us, we can see all the options that you have and which one can be the better one.
That's the thing to do, Keith. And the email address for Gilda has gone into the chat one more time. I asked Mehmet says about the CEF appointment timescales on the last webinar, but can you please confirm if the appointment date is given as of the digital nomad visa being approved or in the following days, which might be fuzzy? What does Mehmet mean there? I wonder if we might need a bit more clarification on that. Yeah, let's come back to you on that, Mehmet.
Yeah, I don't understand. Can you please go back? I
Yeah.
asked about the CEF appointment date scales on the last webinar, but can you please confirm if the appointment date is given for? Well, I cannot confirm. You need to see with your consulate. They should have been, because by law it started yesterday.
Okay. All right.
So from yesterday on, all the appointments should already be applicable to the digital nomad visa.
Okay, there you go, Mehmet. And Jeff, yes, saying yes to Leslie. You do need to do the A2. I finally made a live. You certainly did, Belinda, with 10 minutes to go. And we've got to your question. Number one, 2 questions. This is the first. I am a travel nurse on contract in the United States, but would like to split my time between the US and Portugal. How do I prove my income for the D7? And secondly, do you want to do that bit first? That's payslips, isn't it?
Payslips and the contract.
There you go. And secondly, how often can I leave Portugal to work in the US? Thank you. You're welcome.
Well, you need to you need to explain. It's that thing to keep your residence permit. You need to stay in the 2 years of the resident permit, 6 months in a row, or 8 months if interpolated.
There you go, Belinda.
And then if you stay less than that, you can justify with a letter from your employee saying that you needed to be away for professional purpose.
Well, you can't say fairer than that, can you? So that's pretty good news, I would say, Belinda. I hope that clarifies things for you and helps with your plan. Chris, good evening to you. I remember Carla from EI mentioning you were able to get a D7 approved based on someone having significant savings. Is there a minimum amount that would suffice? I assume it may be age dependent. What would you say to that, Gilda?
A minimum amount that suffice. I assume it may be age dependent. Like age dependent if you are old?
Yeah, come on, Chris. We need to know. I think we need a bit of clarification. It's that last bit that's throwing you, isn't it, Gilda?
Yeah.
Age dependency, savings, and minimum amounts. They're fairly straightforward. But what's the complication here, Chris? With or what was it you heard that's confusing you, Chris? Could you clarify that for us? That would be helpful. Weather report from Ohio from Tom. We're supposed to be in the low 20s this weekend. Quite nice for the time of year. So 15 degrees, not in the 20s. Cali Librarian, hello. Good evening to you. And thank you for your good evening, everyone, as well. Square Eyes is in. Hello. Is Gilda aware of the issues trying to get a VFS London appointment online? I've been trying on and off for months. Is there a problem with the VFS in London, Gilda, that you're aware of?
No, actually, Marianne is the one that takes care of them.
All right, and you can broaden your chances because VFS also operate in Manchester and Edinburgh as well. There, Darren Live is chipping in with that. Thank you very much. Hi, Gilda, says JJ.
Maybe it's because they are full.
Okay,
it wouldn't surprise me.
Keep trying. Yes, demand from the United Kingdom is intense, isn't it? So yes, maybe broaden your search. Manchester and Edinburgh, trip to Scotland or the north. Go. You might have to go outside the M25 there. Square Eyes. Who should I? This is a great question. I know what you're going to say. I think to this one. Hi, Gilda. Who should I contact to help me with the D7 visa process, NIF and bank account? There you go. Hers truly, right there. Go to EI in the business directory at expatsportugal.com. Become a premium member, and you'll get 10% off those services as well as many other benefits. JJBR. Please go to expatsportugal.com and have a look in the business directory. Okay, Jeff and Hank, please play nicely. And Suze is in as well. Hi, Gilda. You said to a person with a residency permit in a Schengen country, that would help in getting residency. I have my residency in Finland. Will that help me? In Canada, planning my move with EI. So currently in Canada, but Suze has a residency in Finland. Would that help?
Well, it depends. It depends on the country. In your case, if you are in Canada and you want to move to Portugal, I won't think it would make a big difference moving from Canada or moving from Finland. Because, when I talk about making a big difference is that when you are like from Nigeria and you have a residence in France, or because Canada is not like a hell to get a residency visa.
Okay, so
but I don't know. I don't think it would make such a great difference. But for you, if you intend to come to Finland, maybe the consulate is not that busy, and we can do it faster.
So you'd have to return to Finland then, Suze.
Yeah.
For that. And how long would you have to be back in Finland for? Or is that irrelevant, Gilda? Do you have to have been in that country of residence for a certain amount of time?
No, well, if she needs to be a resident there, if she has a resident permit, she will be fine. She doesn't need to be there for a minimum of time, as
Interesting
long
plot
as she
twist.
has the resident permit.
Okay, sounds like a call. Discuss that with Gilda and team. Certainly, that sounds good. If I get approved for the digital nomad visa and family reunification, does the spouse usually get approved of as they are my responsibility? Well, you would think so, right?
Yes.
Yes, there you go. We're going to have to do quickies now because we're into the last 4 minutes, and there's a
You
massive.
need to show that you also will have money to cover her costs.
Okay, there you go, Nicole. Mehmet, follow up, not scheduled yet. I received a step plan from Christina on October the 17th, and I want to discuss details. Okay, so I think another call or email tomorrow, Mehmet, to progress and process that, and mention that you were on the call tonight, please. Connie, thank you, Connie.
Tell Hamet to send me an email, please.
Okay, all right. Let me put your email address into the chat one more time. Gilda.pereira@eimigrant.pt. That's in the chat right now for you and anyone else who needs it. Angel, thank you for this clarification. While Jeff and Hank are blaming each other, Connie is coming through with the facts and details here. The meetups are open to all, so come. The one in Lisbon is on the 15th at 1 p.m. The one in Porto is on the 17th at 1 p.m. The locations are in the Expats Portugal forms in events. The events tab at expatsportugal.com. Thank you for that, Connie. Assad, and does Digital Nomad Visa need a 1-year rent lease and a funded bank account, or is it different from the D7? Good question.
Well, we don't know about because the law doesn't say anything about it. We don't know about anything, the lease agreement. As for the bank account, it doesn't make sense that you need to open it for 2 reasons. One reason is because, unlikely the D7, it doesn't say anything that you need to prove that you have a way to bring your income to Portugal. Okay. And also because with this new law, it states that once the visa is approved, they will give you a visa. They will give you a provisory NIF.
Okay.
So it's my assumption that you won't need to have a bank account, but let's see what they are going to say.
All right. Thank you for that, Gilda. And let's see what we can get in this last couple of minutes. We need to let you go and enjoy the rest of your All Saints holiday here in Portugal. Really appreciate you being here tonight. I need to say that. Thank you so much. A quick clarification.
Thank you for reminding me, because I would forget it today.
Well, after what you did to me last week on the Thursday, folks, listen to this. I sent Gilda a message at 7:15 before the webinar last Thursday about the digital nomad visa, saying, everything okay for tonight? And she sent me a message back saying, why? What's happening tonight? She knew exactly what was happening last Thursday. She just chose to wind me up 15 minutes before the webinar. Thank you, Gilda. I remember that. So, 2,820 euros for the main applicant, 50% for the spouse, and 30% for each kid. This applies to the digital nomad as well. Is that correct?
The 50% and the 30% for the kids is upon the minimum wage. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Not of the 2,000.
It's not for the 2,000.
Well, that's good to know. That is good to know. So that's a great question. And then in general terms, again, can you tell us about the job seeker visa? If I go for job seeker visa, says Suze, may I start job search before coming to Portugal? Excuse me, in hope of lining up work soon upon arrival. Sketch out for us, if you will, Gilda, in these closing moments, how the job seeker visa works and the timescales for that.
Yes, you can start looking for a job, but they will need you. They will need to wait for you, because you need the visa to be approved, so that you can come to Portugal and then close the job deal, and then go to start working, and then go to SEF to obtain the resident permit with that working contract.
Great. Okay. And this is sadly, Angel won't be able to make the meetup. maybe next time. And they won't need any encouragement whatsoever, Angel, to have an extra drink for you, so they can toast for you. And yeah, maybe next time, says Connie. Thank you, Connie, Hank, and Jeff, for being here and answering those questions and being so open-hearted and hospitable to everybody. Billy and Dottie are happy because they have 3 years of history together. So it's a thank you so much. And a little heart from them. That's fantastic news for them. Great to have made your evening tonight. What about US disability and savings and passive income? Thank you. So income from what, a US disability from Val Little, who we haven't heard from this evening so far, but you're nodding your head there, Gilda.
Yes, it's possible. I've already done that.
Great. And does EI assist with Portuguese ancestry? Another quickie.
Yes, we do.
Okay. And Gilda, just so you know, you are always personally invited to the Saturday social. Just reiterating there one more time. Let's see what's come in.
Yes, Connie, but you need to send me a WhatsApp message because I cannot keep it's too many things happening in this.
Spinning plates. Yes, indeed. Gilda, I will be moving to Portugal in 2 years, as well as my sister. Would applications be treated as a family or 2 separate individual applications? So sisters, they would have 2 separate, right?
Yeah, 2 separate because you are adults.
Okay. I'm sorry, we can't get to any more questions. Join us, please, again next Tuesday, or just get in touch
But
directly.
are there any more?
Oh, bless you, Gilda, on your holiday. I'm trying to stop you. I'm being your boundary and your gatekeeper here. You just want more questions. If pre-retirement age in general, how much savings would qualify someone for the D7? So it's not age related, is it, for Chris there, clarifying with the amount of savings you need?
Oh, the amount of savings, the minimum required is 50K.
Yeah. Okay, so there you go. So, and it's nothing to do with age, is it? Although the D7 is seen as a retirement visa, it's more a passive income visa than a retirement visa. So there is no age requirement in there or age dependency. Look who else is here this evening on the holiday. Hello, Nunu. Great to have you here. Hi, everyone. Hi, Carl. Hello. And traveling to Edinburgh will not be easy with a disabled elderly parent. Now, if Square Eyes has a disabled elderly parent, is there a dispensation so they wouldn't have to make that journey? Could they be represented? Would power of attorney work if that's what Square Eyes is asking?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, sadly not. Okay. All right. Leslie thanking us. Sorry about that, Square Eyes. Thanks, Carl. That's good to know. So keeping fingers crossed then, Square Eyes, for your London VFS appointment. Keep trying there, my friend. And Assad, thanks for the great answers. Mehmet, thank you very much again for all the knowledge being shared with all. It's a
Mehmet,
pleasure.
email me so I can see if we can get a chat before.
Okay. You did ask, Gilda, so we're going for the last couple of questions here. What if we do not have a contract, like on Fiverr? It is all about a project. When it gets done, they pay. How do we show this as a contract? You could show that as income, right? With bank statements. This is for digital nomads who don't have a contract as such. I mean, they can show proof of income, right? Which Fiverr is.
Yeah, they can show, but we need to build like a case and explain everything.
Yeah. So not out of the question, Tariq, but yeah, talk to EI about that. Thank you, Gilda and Carl. It's a pleasure, Jeff. Always great to have you in the room with us. Gilda, do you have a job for me? We would love to work with you. Do you have an office in the Minho? So that would be ideal. Do you have a branch? Could Suze, if you don't, could Suze open it for you? Thanks, Carla, Gilda. Great information and fun. Oh, bless you, Keith and Caroline. Thank you for being here this evening. And Drizzy, I think this resolves most things. And if it doesn't, we're very sorry if we've missed any of you. I'm working in the tech industry and I have a working contract with a Portuguese company. Does it mean I need to fulfill the highly skilled requirements to qualify for the fast process? Thanks again, says Drizzy.
Yes. So maybe there is a faster way to get your residency permit.
That's good news to end on. That's fantastic.
Thank you. Email me.
Get in touch. You know what the email address is. I'm going to put that in one last time before we play that rave music to see Gilda into the remaining hours of the holiday here. And back at the office in the morning, I'm sure. Muito obrigado. Ciao a todos from
Thank you very much.
And there you go. There's the email address. Gilda, we didn't ask, just very quickly, how is Mandela on the Mandela scale this evening? How's he been this week?
Oh, it's one because he missed me a lot while I was in
Oh,
Porto.
bless. Oh, yes, of course. You need to go away more often then, perhaps, Gilda, and
Yeah, I
do that
think so.
wine research up there in Porto. Great. Good to see you. Love to all the team. And we'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you so much.
See
And
you. Bye bye. Thank
bye
you.
for now, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye for now.